first deadline, the error that is complicating things for two fired police officers challenging their terminations. Providing shelter from the cold, how Saskatoon is strategizing to help the homeless with the temperature dropping. And a Christmas castle returns to Saskatchewan for another year.
This is CTV News with Chantel Saunders.
Good evening. Two fired Saskatoon police officers are fighting to get their badges back, asking a judge to let them appeal their terminations. And as CTV's Laura Woodward reports, it all stems from a filing mistake made by their lawyer.
I'm Dylan.
And I'm Jason.
Dylan Kemp and Jason Garland co-host a podcast discussing men's mental health challenges. They're former Saskatoon police officers. On September 3rd, they were fired following an off-duty party. 8 days later, they filed appeals. But their lawyer, Steve Seiferling, sent them to the wrong place. Instead of the Saskatchewan Police Commission, he sent them to the Police Service and the Police Association, the employer and union. As a result, Kemp and Garland missed the 30-day deadline to challenge their firings. Quote, through an error of counsel, the appeals were not sent to the right party. Kemp and Garland are now asking a judge to overlook the mistake and let the appeals move forward. In their filings, they argue the discipline was unfair and not in line with how other officers at the same party were treated. The matter is set to be before a judge in the new year. Laura Woodward, CTV News, Saskatoon.
A teen girl accused of lighting a fellow high school student on fire last year appeared by video in Saskatoon Provincial Court today. The girl is charged with attempted murder, arson, and aggravated assaults after a 15-year-old girl was doused in a flammable liquid and set on fire at Evan Hardy Collegiate last September. The accused was 14 at the time. She cannot be named because of the Youth Criminal Justice Act. Her lawyer requested an adjournment until after Crown and Defence counsels have resolution discussions on Monday. She is now scheduled to be back in provincial court on January 29th for a plea. A 10th person has been charged in the death of a 30-year-old Saskatoon man. The remains of Tim Tatusis were found on December 18th of last year at a house in the 1700 block of 22nd Street West. Police were executing a search warrant at the time. Yesterday morning, a 26-year-old woman was charged with first-degree murder, offering an indignity to human remains, and unlawful confinement. She is among 4 women and 6 men now charged in the case. All are facing a charge of first-degree murder. Most are also charged with unlawful confinement and offering an indignity to human remains. A third person has been charged in connection to a quadruple homicide on a Saskatchewan First Nation earlier this year. RCMP say a 17-year-old boy has been arrested and charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder in relation to the deaths of 4 people found dead in a home on the Carry the Kettle First Nation on February 4th. The youth, who cannot be identified due to his age, is also charged with the attempted murder of a 5th person who was at the residence at the time. 18-year-old Darius Reset and a 15-year-old boy have also been charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder in connection to the case. The second youth is scheduled to appear in court tomorrow. Saskatoon police are warning the public about counterfeit currency making its rounds in the city. SPS says since last month it has received 8 reports of fraud involving fake money among people using the buy and sell market and in the retail environment. In the last few days, police have been told about 2 incidents where counterfeit $100 bills were used to defraud a business and an individual of several $1,000s. People are encouraged to take a good look at cash when doing business. Police are reminding residents that modern Canadian bills are made from a single piece of polymer material, which have a color holographic portrait and a large transparent window that changes color when tilted. They also have maple leaves that border and cross into that window and have raised ink with the words Bank of Canada in English and on French. With the first deep freeze of the season approaching, the city has enacted its cold weather strategy for the first time while community groups brace for impact. As Carla Shinkrick tells us, protecting the city's most vulnerable is on the minds of many.
We'll put that in the female winter jacket pile.
Before the temperatures tumble even more and the wind chills set in, a network of volunteers and frontline workers are getting ready, like those at Bridge City Warmth.
We basically load up 2 or 3 vehicles. We drive down 20th and we identify those that are in need.
That's just one of the services their group provides. All are focused on helping those who are homeless. Meanwhile, for the first time this year, the city is putting its multi-day cold weather response into action.
So we've activated the winter emergency response plan to a level 2 from today, the 9th, until the 15th.
And the need is growing with the number of people who are unhoused increasing.
Having some conversations with some of the staffs there, they're seeing the numbers increase from last year. Gord Taylor at St. Mary's has shared that they've seen numbers that were occurring now that were at their highest points last year.
Those locations being open for the response plan for daytime warm-up. New this winter, the former STC bus depot building at 23rd Street East. That's for women 18 and over. Also, there's EGADS for 12 to 19, Prairie Harm Reduction, Friendship in Station 20 West, the Bridge on 20th, and the Canadian Mental Health Association. For the evenings, added is St. Mary's Church, run by the Salvation Army for men 18 years and over. And again, EGADS and the STC bus depot locations stay open. Then for the overnight, there's the bus depot, St. Mary's remaining open, as well as the addition of the White Buffalo Youth Lodge for 25 and younger.
It is so much more dangerous out there for people. So we are so grateful for partners like the provincial government, the Saskatoon Tribal Council, St. Mary's Church, the Salvation Army that are running these warming locations.
For community members like Zimmer, the work doesn't end with a warm room. Relying on each other, she says, is what gets people through the coldest nights.
Everybody out there has a story. They're all people. We're all people. And we just need to be kind and compassionate.
Carla Shinkaruk, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Well, yes, Jeff, it was cold today, and it is getting colder.
Getting colder particularly as we approach Friday night into Saturday into Sunday. We have got some really cold temperatures out there. So yes, it is certainly dangerous. There's no other way to say it. We are keeping our eye on this continuing situation with regard to the flurries we've been dealing with. This system is moving through, but a secondary system is coming in behind it, and we might see a little bit more flurry activity as we make our way into Thursday. And we'll talk about some of the numbers in terms of accumulation later on.
An American conservative commentator is stepping in to help a Saskatchewan woman who's been waiting years for a procedure. As Wayne Mantika reports, it comes after she was approved for medical assistance in dying.
Jolene Van Alstine is currently at the Regina General Hospital with a rare form of parathyroid disease. She has been in pain for years and has been unable to obtain necessary surgery. She was recently approved for medical assistance in dying to end her suffering. Now U.S. political commentator Glenn Beck has been in contact and is trying to arrange medical care in the United States.
Very unexpected, but possibly very promising, too. So that's good news for Jolene and I.
Beck has posted updates to X on Van Alstine's plight. It has reached over 1 million readers. He offered a scathing assessment of Canadian Medicare, saying, "This is the reality of compassionate, progressive health care. Canada must end this insanity, and Americans can never let it spread here." Beck says he has also approached President Trump's State Department to expedite her entry into the U.S. The family is hopeful.
The lady that I've been talking to has been very optimistic and said that it's a very good news situation, or a conversation that we'll have a little bit later. So hopefully it will.
The family recently met with Saskatchewan's health minister and says it was offered an out-of-province referral. That option is also being explored. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, Regina.
A recent auditor's report found there are close to 700 cases of underutilized childcare spaces in Saskatchewan. Despite the government of Saskatchewan extending its funding agreement with the federal government, centers say they continue to fall short on staffing. Sierra D'Souza Butts explains.
Despite enrolling dozens of new families in the past few months, the First Years Learning Center says it still has hundreds of kids waiting for a spot.
Our wait list is at 1,913 children. Prior to September, it was over 2,000.
It's one of many issues childcare centers are facing across Saskatchewan, in addition to the shortage of early childhood educators.
We can create as many spaces as we want, but without the creation of more early childhood educators, it's not going to matter. And part of that comes down to wages. We still don't have like a pay grid from the government.
Although the province has increased increased its number of childcare spaces to more than 41,000, a recent independent provincial auditor report found there are 694 approved childcare spaces that are being underutilized, which suggests spaces may be improved in locations that do not need them, or there aren't enough qualified educators available.
The report confirms what, frankly, families and workers have known for a long time, which is Saskatchewan is falling behind on its commitments to create childcare spaces, to make sure they're adequately used and staffed, and that the current approach by the provincial government is not working.
In a statement to CTV News, the ministry says it's at 91% of its target of creating an additional 28,000 childcare spaces as part of the early learning and childcare agreement with the federal government, adding it accepts the recommendations to develop a sustainable funding model for the provision of childcare and will analyze key data and will track and report on all key information to the federal government as outlined in the agreement. In the meantime, centers like this one continue to advocate for careers in early childhood education in order to keep providing quality childcare for families. Sierra D'Souza Butts, CTV News, Regina.
Travel into Canada through Saskatchewan's border crossings dropped this year. The Canada Border Services Agency has released its 2025 year in review detailing activity at its 14 ports of entry in the province. From January 1st to October 31st, nearly 500,000 travelers came into Saskatchewan, about 60,000 fewer than during the same period last year. Officers made nearly 200 narcotic seizures, including about 30 grams of opioids, 1 gram of cocaine, and 2.5 kilograms of illegal cannabis, which is roughly 60 fewer drug seizures than last year. The CBSA also seized 25 guns, along with more than 1,000 gun or magazine parts.
Proud of our border service officers here. They conduct a lot of hard work screening travelers and goods coming into the country. And I think this shows a good record of the good job that we're doing.
Officers also confiscated about $72,000 in suspected proceeds of crime, which is almost double last year's total. Music teachers across the province are raising concern over what they say are shrinking music programs. As Hallie Mandrick tells us, they feel students aren't receiving the notable education they deserve.
For many students in Saskatchewan, elementary band programs can spark a lifelong interest in music. But some who teach it, like Brent Gilioni in Regina, say programs that focused on smaller classes have been forced to do more with less.
They'll have full band of 100 plus kids, and there's one teacher in the room. I mean, if anything goes wrong, it's a recipe for failure.
Gilioni blaming it on funding cuts. Other teachers say they've witnessed a slow but steady decrease to music programs over the last several years. That includes Stacey Mortensen-Spokes, who's been teaching for 30 years.
Well, there was a time where it was very common for elementary students to have band 3 times a week, and now it would be pretty rare for elementary students to have band 3 times a week.
The Ministry of Education cited a $2.4 billion operating budget for the 2025-26 school year, saying, quote, funding is distributed through a model that supports instructional activities in schools, and while it does not allocate funding for specific classes or programs such as band, it does enable flexibility to allocate resources based on local needs and priorities. Teachers like Brent Gilioni feel the priority should be to ensure music programs remain strong in Saskatchewan.
The cruncher is, if we don't have music and arts programs in our city, we're in trouble. I mean, any community without beauty is a pretty ugly community.
Something Gilioni and other teachers hope music education won't come to. Hallie Mandrick, CTV News, Saskatoon.
The inside of a Melfort landmark has been transformed into a Christmas wonderland. Jasmine Pelche takes us inside the historical post office, where holiday spirit is providing a helping hand in the community.
Since 2018, the annual Christmas Castle has been drawing visitors to the Melfort Historical Post Office.
December of 2017, and we were just driving through downtown Melfort early evening and just saw that the whole place was quiet. And it was then that the thought came to us that what could we do to draw traffic?
The Lauschebicons enlisted other volunteers and approached the city about using the historic post office. After some back and forth, the city jumped on board with the idea, and the castle saw more than 2,500 visitors its first year.
In the first year too, our sons Daniel and Peter were a part of this. In the first year, Yemi drove around all of Christmas Day and Christmas Eve just finding deals for buying the trees.
Organizers say that more than 100 Christmas trees are currently set up inside the post office. The Christmas Castle is a community gathering space, but it's also a fundraiser. This year, donations will go to the North Central Healthcare Foundation, Restoring the Historic Post Office, and the Believe in the Gold Childhood Cancer Foundation. The project is a team effort. 50 community volunteers have worked on setting up and running this year's castle. Local musicians have also volunteered to perform at the historic post office every evening while the castle is up.
It's all about Melfort, how friendly we are, how much we get together, our volunteers.
The Melfort Christmas Castle is open until December 21st. Jasmine Pelche, CTV News, Melfort.
Christmas lights on homes are a popular and traditional way to celebrate the holidays, but a few people in Saskatchewan are providing some Christmas cheer with their vehicles. Damian Smith explains.
Nowadays, not that many people get in the Christmas spirit, and it's nice to see.
An additional set of Christmas lights are on display in front of the Saskatchewan Legislative Building, but these ones are on a truck. For Tanner Boulanger, 3 hours of taping Christmas lights to his vehicle was worth the work.
Some people want to take pictures with it. Some people come up to nowhere, knock, and they're like, oh my gosh, I love this. It's quite different. But I love to see when people love it, though.
It's a similar site 2 hours south of Regina, where Brooks Milford is lighting up the night in Estevan.
Generally pretty good. Lots of people love it. I mean, there's a few people that don't like it so much, but yeah, I think for the most part, most people like it.
For Milford, it took a roll and a half of tape with over 1,000 feet of mini lights strung around the vehicle, more than 3,000 individual lights beaming brighter than Rudolph's nose. But decking out a vehicle can come with its challenges.
Take your time. Make sure you got everything kind of aligned right so you can, I guess, open all your doors and everything so you don't lock yourself out.
Make sure that you put the lights where you want to. Right now, my passenger door does not open because the lights cover it.
As colorful as they may be, the lights must be turned off when driving, according to SGI. Extra lights or equipment which make required lights harder to see are prohibited while driving on public roads due to safety and visibility concerns. Drivers can also receive fines and may be forced to remove them. Both Milford and Boulanger say that they comply with the law. For them, it's all about making spirits bright.
I get to put a smile on someone else's face. It puts a smile on mine, so it makes you feel good to be able to make someone else's day better.
Damian Smith, CTV News, Regina.
Still to come, the concerns raised over Saskatchewan's plan to invoke forced drug treatment. Also, will a tentative agreement mean less turbulence for Air Transat travelers? You're watching a CTV News Live from downtown Saskatoon. Thanks for staying with us. Concern is being expressed about Saskatchewan's plan for involuntary addictions treatment. Organizations that currently help people combat addictions question whether forced treatment will work. Wayne Mantika reports.
Service providers on the front line of the addictions problem have been left with questions about the government's plan for involuntary treatment.
There has not been a lot of clarity around what this actually looks like and what the impact will be. We don't have the resources in place for people that want to go to treatment. We don't have the resources in place for what happens when they get out of treatment.
Last week, the province introduced legislation that would force addicts into secure treatment centers.
To support people with severe addictions who no longer are capable of seeking help on their own despite serious health and safety risks.
The NDP say it doesn't help those voluntarily seeking treatment.
This is a bit of a distraction from a government who knows full well that they have month-long wait lists, that they cannot honor people who are seeking detox today.
If passed, the plan would allow family members, police officers, and healthcare workers to identify those who they believe would benefit from involuntary addictions treatment.
It's been critiqued many times by many medical associations as not being effective, as not being ethical.
There are also legal questions.
If this really does genuinely look like treatment with the release plan and a way, the intent is to get people back to their regular lives, that this very well might be legal. If this ends up looking like putting people in prison without a charge, my suspicion is that this is another court case that the government of Saskatchewan will lose.
The provincial government will consider community feedback as it prepares to pass the legislation in the spring. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, Regina.
A big sigh of relief for thousands of Air Transat passengers after a pilot strike was averted, but not without some disruptions for travelers. CTV's Scott Hurst has more on the tentative deal and what it means for ticket holders.
It came at the 11th hour, but the pilots' union and Air Transat reached a deal to avoid a strike just hours before pilots were set to hit the picket lines, a move that would have grounded the entire fleet.
It's nice to know they got agreements.
The 750 pilots will now get a chance to vote to ratify the agreement. The union says the deal brings its members in line with industry standards and delivers on the goals of better job security, enhanced compensation, and more flexibility in scheduling. But details have not been made public. The airline is calling the deal an important milestone and a complete overhaul of the pilots' collective agreement.
We found the right balance that will allow us to remain competitive, have competitive salaries, while preserving the DNA of offering affordable products to our customers.
Just shy of 20 flights were canceled between yesterday and today in preparation of a strike. Air Transat says canceled flights will not be reinstated. But ongoing reservations should not be impacted as the airline gets back up to full service by the end of day tomorrow. Scott Hurst, CTV News, Toronto.
There are only a few weeks until 2026, and already Canadians are worried about how they'll be able to afford food, debt, and housing costs next year. The financial fears comes as the Bank of Canada announces it's holding rates steady, saying inflation has come down enough.
The malls may be busy, but this year many Canadians are focused less on presents and more on presents.
Me and all my friends make gifts for each other, and I feel like that makes it so much more lasting, and it's not like a cost worry thing in the holidays.
This holiday season, economic anxiety is high. According to a new Nanos report, 42% of people rank grocery prices as their top financial concern. 17% say their biggest concern is personal debt. 16% housing costs, 8% job security, and just 8% say they have no financial concerns.
You roll all that stuff up, and it's interesting, just paying for the groceries being the top concern that people think that they're going to have when it comes to 2026. So it's pretty basic.
The financial stress being tied to uncertainty around tariffs and the high cost of living.
If it was me, we'd be vegetarian, but I have good Canadian hockey players. They like their meat, milk, and cereal.
And for those wishing for prices to come down, the Bank of Canada says that would actually be bad news.
If we were to try to push the whole price level down, that would cause a severe recession in Canada. Nobody wants that.
So what can Canadians do to help their financial future? Experts say try tracking where money is coming in and going out.
Some lifestyles aren't sustainable anymore. The things have just gotten really expensive. So what you want to do with those big purchases, I think, is either avoid them or delay them or partition them. And maybe that's the best way to go.
Overall, inflation is expected to remain steady next year, with the Bank of Canada expecting it to hover around 2%. Annie Bergeron-Oliver, CTV News, Ottawa.
The Alberta government has issued the notwithstanding clause for the fourth time in just under 2 months, this time to pass a controversial bill containing 3 laws affecting transgender youth. The bill was pushed through in the early morning hours using the notwithstanding clause to shield 3 laws from legal challenges. The laws will dictate how students use names and pronouns in school, ban transgender girls from participating in amateur sports, and restrict gender-affirming health care for children under the age of 16. Opposition MLAs authorities say this is an overreach. In late October, the Alberta government invoked the notwithstanding clause to order striking teachers back to work and impose a collective bargaining deal. Now that Kirsten Hillman, Canada's ambassador to Washington, is stepping away, the focus is on who will replace her. Hillman leaves big shoes to fill during the most pivotal trade negotiations this country has seen in a generation. Michael Couture with what Ottawa is saying about the ambassador.
She's been a remarkable ambassador.
She handled herself very well in some very difficult circumstances, and wish her all the best.
Kirsten Hillman announced she will be stepping down in the new year, adding the move was first discussed when Prime Minister Mark Carney came into office.
And exceptional public servant, we're all in her debt, and I just want to thank her again for her contribution.
Hillman leaves as trade talks around sectoral tariffs like steel and aluminum remain stalled, and the official review of CUSMA is months away.
I think it's important that we have someone in place that is going to be here through the conclusion of those discussions.
Are you considering Mark Wiseman as a replacement?
Sources tell CTV News Mark Wiseman will likely be named the next Canadian ambassador to the U.S. He's held a number of senior roles at asset management firms and was chair of the Century Initiative,
whose stated mission is to triple the population of Canada to 100 million people, a policy that is designed to profit multinational corporations by driving wages down and housing costs up.
The policy that the member across refers to has never been and will never be the policy of the Government of Canada.
No matter who is chosen, a former policy advisor to Justin Trudeau on Canada-U.S. relations says the role requires someone who can engage with all stakeholders.
That's a major part of the role, not just from the business community, but from civil society, labor leaders, others, to make sure that their interests and concerns are represented in talks with the U.S.
With Hillman's departure in the new year, the Prime Minister says her successor will be named in the coming weeks. Michael Couture, CTV News, Ottawa.
And everywhere there's angels in the snow. Hi, I'm Eileen Laverty, and I'm very pleased to be performing with my band on Friday, December 12th at the Broadway Theatre in Saskatoon. There are still tickets available through the Broadway Theatre website, and show starts at 7:30. So, Jeff, what's the weather going to be like?
It's going to be a bit crisp, I won't lie. We've got ourselves a cold day in store, but, you know, why not warm up and be there in the welcoming confines of the Broadway Theatre and watch Eileen and her friends on stage. And it'll be a lovely show, as it always is with Eileen. Minus 26 degrees is our daytime high, so it'll be a little cooler as we get closer to showtime. Once again, showtime is 7:30 Friday night right there at the Broadway Theatre, broadwaytheatre.ca to get your tickets. Now, let's take a look at our numbers. Certainly, we've got some coolish temperatures, but they're actually been going up in some respects. It certainly has in Saskatoon. Some light flurries in the city, minus 12 degrees, minus 16 in Saskatoon, or rather in Prince Albert, and in the Battlefords, minus 15 degrees. A bit breezy, particularly as we get towards the Battlefords, but the Battlefords right now just on cloudy skies. Now, Saskatoon's current temperature happens to be our 24-hour high temperature, minus 12 degrees. Minus 8 is typical, so at the moment, 4 degrees below seasonal. 7 is the record warm temperature for the 10th of December. 1928 and 1981 is when we hit that temperature. Minus 38 in 1902 still stands as the cold temperature record. That's gold. And the sun came up at 9:04. It went down at 4:55.
Coming up, the furry friends looking for a new home. We introduce you to the latest 12 Strays of Christmas.
More days until the fur flies. Thursday on Your Morning, we're talking junior hockey, teeing up the Regina Pats Teddy Bear Toss and how they're giving back to sick kids this Christmas.
Alrighty, that looks great. And what looks great? Well, it looks great, but it's kind of cold out there right now. But as I mentioned, kind of actually warming up a little bit, but still below seasonal. As you can see, you know, we've got there's a little bit of wind. You can see some of the exhaust coming out of some of the buildings in downtown Saskatoon, but still a pretty sight. But it is going to get pretty cold, as we mentioned earlier on. Keeping our eye on this one system, these areas of these Alberta clippers sliding through. That one's going to move out of the way. Another one just coming in behind it, a little weaker, so we don't anticipate anticipate a lot more in the way of snow. And our snowfall accumulations, I said I was going to mention them. We don't have complete ones from Environment Canada right now, but we can say the area that up to now, up to 6 in the morning, that had received the most snow was down in the Yorkton area, around 14 centimeters. So we'll have to wait and see if anybody tops that. Minus 12 degrees in Saskatoon, minus 16 in Prince Albert, minus 15 in the Battlefords at the moment. The hot spot in the province, Maple Creek once again, 6 degrees. Key Lake, the cold spot at a cold minus 34. Around the province we go. Currently it is minus 17 degrees in Yorkton and Lloydminster, minus 3 in Swift Current, minus 12 in Regina, 1 degree colder in Estevan. Into central parts of the province, temperatures ranging from minus 12 degrees in Kindersley and right here in Saskatoon down to minus 18. That's in Waskesiu and Meadow Lake. It's minus 14 in Wynyard, minus 17 in Nipawin and Hudson Bay. Making our way up to Stony Rapids where it's minus 25, minus 24 in Key Lake. The warmest it gets on this part of our map is a tie between La Ronge and Sandy Bay Island Falls at minus 19 degrees. Maple Creek still on the plus side of the thermometer at 3 degrees, minus 3 in East End, minus 7. And Leader, as we make our way across the province, things do cool off. In the eastern side of Saskatchewan, minus 17 right now in Melville, minus 15 in Broadview, and minus 13 in a number of locations. On to our futurecast. So there's that system getting out of the way, but then in behind it, another one. And some of that active weather may show up in the form of rain, and that may be creating problems down in southwestern Saskatchewan. Again, we'll keep our eye on that, particularly as highway conditions go. And you can certainly look how windy it's going to be in Alberta. Those may be some very strong Chinook winds, but we'll have to wait and see if that warms things up. Minus 20s for northern Saskatchewan under cloudy skies. The coldest it gets is on this map is minus 24 in Key Lake. Minus 21 for Meadow Lake and Spiritwood. Minus 17 in Kindersley. Minus Rosetown at minus 16 degrees. Expecting snow throughout the west central region. Snow expected throughout the southwest as well. But look at these temperature ranges. Minus 4 in Maple Creek, but minus 16 for Outlook. Minus 9 in Swift Current. Minus 14 for Leader. Temperatures in and around minus 10 degrees for Regina, Moose Jaw, and Estevan. A little cooler, but not by much in York. And again, expecting snow to make its way through the southeastern part of Saskatchewan. And that's true of east central Saskatchewan with temperatures in the low to high minus teens. If by high minus teens, we mean minus 17, because that's the high expected in Melfort. Slight chance of flurries overnight in the Battlefords, minus 19 degrees, but a bit more snow tomorrow. It's staying at minus 19, and there's a risk of frostbite overnight into tomorrow. Nasty winds tomorrow in particular. And then a couple of really cold days, minus 27 on Friday, minus 22 on Saturday, but bounces back to minus 11 on Sunday. And then Monday and Tuesday at or above seasonal values, backing off on Wednesday with a high of minus 15. For Prince Albert, expecting 5 centimeters of snow overnight with some frostbite potential. Certainly there overnight into tomorrow. The flurries start to taper off, minus 18 degrees, and then a cold weekend, or not weekend, Friday and Saturday, and then things start to rebound on Sunday, warming up to above seasonal values on Monday and Tuesday, but cooling off again on Wednesday. And Saskatoon's overnight temperature, minus 19 degrees, a slight chance of flurries, expecting another 2 to 4 centimeters of snow on Thursday, and then things start to wind down, but they just get colder with the cold air coming in behind that front. And then look at that, though, minus 9 on Sunday, minus 6 on Monday, and minus 3 on Tuesday. Author Sophie Kinsella, best known for the Shopaholic series of novels, has died. The series has sold more than 50 million copies globally. Kinsella, whose real name was Madeline Sophie Wickham, was diagnosed with an aggressive form of brain cancer in 2022. Her family released a statement today announcing her death. Sophie Kinsella was 55 years old. A big honor for The Who's lead singer, Sir Roger Daltrey, as he is now known, received a knighthood from Prince William. He was recognized for his services to music and charity. Daltrey is the patron of the Teenage Cancer Trust and has been the driving force behind the nonprofit's annual fundraising concerts at London's Royal Albert Hall since 2000. Daltrey says he feels very humbled by the knighthood. He was named in the King's birthday honors list in June. Coldplay tops the list of the most popular touring artists of the last 2 decades based on ticket sales. According to Pollstar, Coldplay has sold 24.8 million tickets. Next is U2 with 20.2 million tickets, and Ed Sheeran with 19.6 million. Rounding out the top 5 is Dave Matthews Band with nearly 19.6 million tickets sold, and Taylor Swift, who sold about 18.9 million tickets. But keep in mind, her debut album was not released until 2006, and numbers of tickets sold is a different metric than money grossed. I like the tickets sold part of it, quite frankly.
That's very interesting.
Bums in seats.
Yes.
That's important.
This is true. Photos of the day, also very important.
Indeed they are. So let's take a look at this. We'll start off right here. And speaking of bum in the seat, it looks like Santa's got his bum in a nice little seat there. This is from Monique Mattis, or Monique Pilon. My sister Louise Pilon made this cute Santa for our dad. Merry Christmas to you all. Merry Christmas to you as well, Monique. Thank you for sharing that photo with us. Now, from Lori. Happy birthday, Bo. You are an amazing mom, grandma, and great-grandma. May every day bring comfort, joy, and reminders of how deeply you are loved. Love your family. And we'd like to send along some birthday greetings. We don't have an age here for Bo, but we look forward to wishing you more happy birthdays in the future. So thank you for sending that picture. And finally, from Les in Prince Albert, Harold Dixon was born 100 years ago on December 10th. You can see Les is there in the yellow suspenders. We'll get a close-up of him in a second here, but a great shot of the whole family there. And then, yes, we celebrated his birthday, because his birthday is today, but we celebrated his birthday this past weekend with friends and family from far away as France. So thank you, Zut alors. Thank you for making that trip. And Les, congratulations and best wishes from us as well. 100 years old. That is very impressive indeed. And if you'd like to share an image with us, you can do so by sending it to cfqcnews@ctv.ca or scan the QR code on the screen, and that'll help you out there.
Well, still to come on CTV News, the cats in need of a home for the holidays. We introduce you to Danny and Jelly Bean.
Wow, there is a high motor in terms of purring on that kitty cat. And two black cats today, but they are not siblings. We're very happy to have Russ Miskey with us today, as well as Sheila Gibbons from the Saskatoon SPCA. It's the 12 Strays of Christmas, and we're looking for forever homes, not just these cats, but other critters here at the shelter. So first of all, this particular kitty cat, you know, are these cats ready to go?
They are ready to go, yes.
And so that means they've got all their shots and they're chipped and things like that?
Yeah, and spayed and neutered as well. Yeah.
Spayed and neutered. How much does it cost to adopt a kitten?
Yeah, so our cost for having the cats get ready with all of the surgeries and vaccinations is probably around $350. But we have a suggested price of $125. Okay. If that's too much for you, though, you can pay what you need to pay.
Okay. You're just looking for homes for these cats, and they're beautiful looking cats, and they're about 4 months old?
About 4 months, yeah.
Let's talk about the 50-50.
The 50-50 is great. We love all the people that buy tickets because half of it comes to us and helps all of the animals in need. It's one of our bigger fundraisers for the year, especially the one over the holidays. People are in the giving spirit, and they are in the winning spirit too. So
okay, so you can simply go online and or click on the banner, and you can simply find your way to buy some tickets on the 50-50 to help out the Saskatoon SPCA. And you can also take a look at other critters besides what is this, Jelly Bean? Daniel?
This is Danny.
Danny and Jelly Bean?
Jelly Bean.
Danny and Jelly Bean are available for adoption. They are part of the 12 Strays of Christmas. Thank you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
12 Strays of Christmas, brought to you in part by Early's Farm and Garden, proudly supporting the Saskatoon SPCA wish list all year long.
When we come back, what a re-signed rider says he's looking forward to. And later, a look at quite the light display started by one family years ago.
All right, welcome back. It's time to take a look at our rural forecast for tomorrow. And yes, it's full of a fair amount of snow, but keep in mind, this snow likes to move move across the province, so we don't expect it to be a day-long affair or a huge dump of snow. Some places might see an additional 2 to 4 centimeters. That includes Saskatoon, but ultimately this system is the last one we have to deal with for at least a little while. Minus 20, but cold conditions. Minus 21 for Meadow Lake and Spiritwood for daytime highs. Minus 20 for Lloydminster. Minus 16 is still cold. That's in Outlook. As we make our way towards Hudson Bay, minus 13 for a high. The same for Wynyard. And then as we make our way down south, still fairly widespread snow and a bit more accumulation in central areas of the province. And as you can see, temperatures a bit on the milder side. Minus 2 in East End, Cypress Hills. Minus 8 in Carlisle. A bit cooler up around Cornwall, where it's minus 13 degrees. And for Etonia, well, Etonia is still expecting snow and windy conditions tomorrow as well. So that minus 18 is going to feel a whole lot colder. Don't forget, this Saturday, the old-fashioned Christmas in Etonia. And Etonia is one of those places where internet plans of up to 1 gig are available from SaskTel.
The CFL's most outstanding offensive lineman says he is ready to get back to playing with the team. The Saskatchewan Roughriders announcing yesterday they re-signed Jamarcus Hardrick for another season.
I would love to repeat as a Grey Cup champion more than an O-lineman. I've been in this league, 12, 13 years. I've seen one guy repeat, and I was on this team. I haven't seen a lot of guys repeat. So it won't make or break me if I don't repeat as MOL. I just want to make sure I'm playing better, getting better, and doing what's best for this team.
Hardrick was a cornerstone of the Riders' O-line, which was one of the best in the league last season. That coming off 2024, where he thought a season-ending injury might end his career. It's one of a few signings announced since quarterback Trevor Harris said he would be returning to the green and white. Hardrick says that signing played a part in his re-signing, be it a small one. Well, as you heard earlier, the Bank of Canada held the key lending rate at 2.25%. Morella Fernandez with the reasons behind that decision.
The governor for the Bank of Canada says the rate is where it needs to be to keep inflation in check. Tiff Macklem had hinted the rate would stay the same in October. And with growth in the economy and positive employment data, the bank decided not to move. But the governor did point to Canada working through a structural adjustment, which he is keeping a close eye on. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is up to 72.49. West Texas Intermediate crude is up to 58.79. Western Canadian Select is down to 44.53. And the TSX gained 246 points today for another record close. Those are your business headlines. I'm Morella Fernandez.
Turning to local gas prices now, the average price in Saskatoon, just over $1.19 a litre. The lowest price in town, $1.099. On Saskatchewan markets, Cameco finished the day at $129.34. Nutrien was up 16 cents. Coming up, the trip back in time this Christmas season. Then the holiday light special, bringing smiles to thousands.
Select Hair Services brought to you by Sage, the beauty bar.
Stay with us for another great night of television, starting tonight at 7 with Shifting Gears. Well, New York subways are going back in time this holiday season.
It was fascination, I know.
The city is bringing back its holiday nostalgia rides. Their 1930s train cars run every Sunday in December and feature 8 cars from the 30s. As you can see, commuters get into the spirit by dressing up in their favorite vintage outfits. I thought you'd like that.
That is totally cool.
Yeah.
That crazy New York.
Right? Just for the holidays. So.
Just for the holidays, I get it, yeah. Cool.
Yeah. All right, well, you can see why a display in Croatia.
I wonder what the rats are wearing.
I don't know. We'll have to Google it. This display in Croatia is called the Magic of the Lights, and here is why. Thousands of visitors come out to see the massive holiday lights display. The millions of lights cover the ponds, bridges, trees, and paths in the woods. It actually started with one family on their estate and has grown into a big attraction at this time of year. And each year, they create something new. I think it was a father that started it and then passed it on to his son.
Wow, what a family legacy. That is amazing. amazing.
That is pretty cool. A lot of work as always, but
no kidding.
yeah.
No kidding.
I mean, it's an estate. So
it's an estate. I know, but it's
a little bigger than the average place.
Exactly, a little more work than that.
Yeah.
Once you say millions of lights.
Quick note, tomorrow at 6, we will not be on the air. We're bringing you NFL football, but we will be back an hour earlier. So we're here at 5. So mark that in your calendar,
There
5
you go.
o'clock.
5 o'clock, that's where we'll be.
Yeah, and
Right
it'll
here.
distract us from the weather.
Well, tomorrow may not be so bad, but it's the next following days that are a little chilly.
The day after that. Okay, stay warm. Thanks for watching.